Joining me now, Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada. Senator, good morning. Thank you for being on the show.
Good morning, Hallie.
So we were intrigued by the statement that you issued calling for this talking filibuster to be implemented, rather. I'm hoping you can explain why and whether you think this is the option that is likely to get the most traction inside your party right now, because, as you know, many of your colleagues have ruled out, massive filibuster reform overall.
Well, first of all, you just showed a perfect example. The American public, when you talk about a filibuster, that's what they think. And rightfully so. We should be transparent. If you're going to stand up against any type of legislation, the American public should know that you're opposing it. And that's what this is about. For the last 4 years, what I have seen is important legislation, bipartisan legislation, moving through some of these committees. And they got nowhere because Mitch McConnell was leader at the time and he refused to allow a vote on the floor of the Senate. So now it's time to really, if you're going to oppose a piece of legislation that is crucial for this country, then you should have to stand up and let the American public know that you're opposing it. The piece of legislation that are in this country that is so needed. I sit on Senate Finance, and to give you a perfect example, there was a Grassley-Wyden bill to reduce prescription drug costs. It had bipartisan support, and Mitch McConnell refused to bring it to the floor of the Senate. So there's so much that needs to be done on this for the American public, prescription drug cost reduction. We're going to go into hopefully an infrastructure package. We have to address voting rights suppression. There's so much happening, and the American public deserves to know who's opposing it. And we have to have an opportunity to move so much of this forward on behalf of the country, just like we did with the American Rescue Plan.
But again, not everybody in your party seems to be on the same page about how to do this, right? Because there is some concern, for example, of letting the minority have their voices be heard. That is something that Senator Manchin, for example, has brought up. And this idea that if Republicans win back the majority, let's say, the tables could be flipped on Democrats here.
But this is a perfect example of how we can unite our party around this, because you are still requiring and mandating that kind of bipartisan support. There's still the opportunity to have that minority party be a part of the solution and addressing and talking about important legislation in this country. So there's still this opportunity for everybody to work together. And that's why I support this talking filibuster. Listen, I think we all want to work in a bipartisan way. I know I do. Now, some of us that I've seen have blocked for political gain, and they should be held accountable for it. But most importantly, the American public should know that they're doing it. You said it earlier. Oftentimes, my colleagues can just oppose and walk away. They're not on the floor of the Senate. They're back in their offices. They're back in their home districts, but they're opposing legislation, and nobody knows they're doing it. So it's time for the American public to see who really is stopping important legislation for this country.
Do you think that Senator Schumer could get on board with this? And do you think that Senator Manchin is firmly in your column here on this one? I also wonder, as it relates to Senator Manchin, he is obviously, as you know, wielding an enormous amount of power, perhaps some might call it outsized influence on the direction of the party. Does that cause you concern that a single senator can have that kind of sway?
Well, first of all, we're in a 50-50 Senate, so any of my colleagues can have that sway. But at the end of the day, I think we all are united that we have to get so much done on behalf of this country. So the American public really deserves it. They should know what is going on in Congress. And I think this is a great compromise for everybody, particularly from Joe Manchin to everyone else, can really still work in a bipartisan way, but move legislation that is important for this country and not let it be stopped by a minority who's playing politics.
Senator, and I'm sorry, a bit of a delay there. Let me hit you on a couple of other topics here, starting with immigration, because NBC News is out with exclusive new reporting on a senior ICE official saying the Biden administration is, quote, not ending family detention. That's, as you know, after recent comments condemning the practice, a court filing outlining plans to effectively end it. I wonder if you are comfortable with where the Biden administration is at, particularly as border discussion becomes more and more prominent among conservatives, for example, with where they are on what's happening at the border and the migrants.
Yeah, let me talk a little bit about this, because there's a lot of misinformation as well. First of all, there's no open borders again. And I somebody was the attorney general for 8 years in my state, worked very closely on the border with Mexico. There are no open borders. I don't support it. My colleagues don't support it. We all believe that we should keep the criminal element out. No terror should come across. But at the same time, we can secure our borders and have a humane immigration system that addresses the challenges that many people around the world are facing when they are being persecuted in their own countries, that their lives are at stake. And particularly now, we see so many children, literally children, that are out there fleeing for their lives. And for my purposes, and I think many of my colleagues, it's about looking out for the best interests of these children and their families. And so this idea that you can do one or the other, and that we're pitting border security against a humane immigration system is just wrong. And I do not believe it. I think you can do both. I know you can do both. The border security folks at the border that I talk to, and I've been down at the border several times, they're looking for smart technology. They're looking for human resource support. There's more things that we can do to secure our borders. I'm telling you, a wall is not it. As somebody who worked with the AGs in Mexico to address drug trafficking, there are so many tunnels that can be built, but we can be smart about it. We have technology now that can help us secure the border. But at the same time, Hallie, I will tell you, we can be compassionate as Americans. We can have a system that helps individuals who are fleeing because they are fleeing their countries, but because they're either their lives are on the line or they're horrific conditions and they're looking for an opportunity to succeed. I mean, my grandfather came from Mexico. He crossed the Rio Grande.
Right.
And so for a better life. So we are a country of immigrants. So we can do both. And this idea that we have to pit one against the other is just wrong. It's just wrong.
Before I let you go, I want to get a little local with you here because I don't have to explain to you some of the drama that has gone down in the Nevada State Democratic Party. But so our viewers know, it's basically, as The Intercept reports, this coalition of progressive-backed candidates that have now, in essence, taken over, won every seat of the Nevada Democratic Party, prompting the exodus of, I think, most or all of the staff members there. The new chair is somebody who you reportedly asked to drop out. I'm wondering, is that accurate? Did you do that? And do you have concerns about the direction your party is headed on the state level in Nevada?
First of all, let me just say we are united in the state of Nevada. No. For the last several elections, we have elected Democrats up and down the ticket. That's everybody in the party supporting it and being together. So no, I do not have concerns. And actually, the race that you are talking about for the state party chair was between two progressives. Tick Seger-Bloom also supported Bernie Sanders. Right. So this idea that there's some wedge or some issue going on, I don't support it. I don't believe it. I know, talking with Judith and talking with people within the party, we're united, and our focus is electing Democrats up and down the ticket in the state of Nevada. It is still a strong party.
Okay. Had you asked Judith Whitmer to drop out at any point before the election?
No, actually, I didn't. I had a couple conversations with her, and we had had a great conversation. She talked about what she wanted to do with the party, and it was very cordial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank all of you out there.
Thank you as always.
Thanks to at home.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times.